You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
Definitely want to get to the local ones too. Like when we look at the winners of our city council, we look at the winners of our school boards, right? Like, what's your thoughts there? You know, as far as your call to action for the community. You know, when we look at
I'm anxious to hear what he say on that.
Pinkston and Wade and Morris and Grand Page and so on and so forth.
Yeah, shout out to all the winners.
Mm-hmm.
Don Morris from the local school board.
That's right.
You know, Brother Wade in the city council, Brian Pinks and so forth. All of the winners for that matter. I think, you know, it is what it is. Individuals who ran and individuals who won. I wish, you know, I love to call Mama P. Leah Perrier. Would have got reelected just because the wealth of knowledge she has from an institutional base. But, you know, it is what it is in that regard. Love her to death. I think that the people who won, we now have an opportunity, one, to see how they're going to govern. I think it's really easy for individuals on the outside to say that, city council or board of supervisors, whatever, looks really chaotic. Let's just use city council because that's the one that everybody talks about. It looks chaotic on the outside without understanding the depth of knowledge and research that you have to be able to have in order to effectively and adequately use your job. Furthermore, once you get in these seats, do you have the gall, if you will, to be able to be bold enough to push policies that will be advantageous for our people? Not a lot of folks have that. So it takes you about a year or so to get acclimated with just how things work, how policies and procedures are ran, how you can understand the budget and so forth. So I would advise everyone to be patient with Brother Juan Wade, because initially he's coming in. It's going to be like drinking from a hose. Although he's been on school board, that gives him some help. But this is a completely different animal, much bigger budget, much different policies and so forth. Let's be patient with him. Let's try to help him move along. But furthermore, we need more black folk on boards and commissions. And I'm not just talking about the ones that everybody talks about, CRB, which I actually wrote the draft policy for and the resolution for. Not just like, you know, planning commission and things of that nature, but like there are several boards that our folk need to apply for: housing authority, zoning commission, tree commission, like parks and rec board, things of that nature. Seats that are available that we aren't applying for and we need to be tapping into. When we collectively work together, shout out to the Minority Business Coalition Commission and so forth. When we collectively work together, that's how we move the needle forward. And I would be remiss if we did not show some love to my dearest sister, Nakaya Walker. I know people have a lot to say.
Absolutely.
They got a lot to say about her, and me and her, you know, I love her to death. Yeah. She ain't too happy with me right now, but I love her to death.
Comes with territory.
Brothers and sisters do. That's what brothers and sisters do. Like that's my sister. We gonna fight. We gonna love each other, whatever. But I don't think people, and I don't think it's. Let me just say this real quick. I'm sorry. People were much more appreciative of me after I got off the council. People will have the same or feel the same way about Nakaya when she's gone. People don't understand how much research she and I put into this, and her even more so than me, because I have no qualms with saying I may have operated differently and may have been able to get some different things done, but Nakaya is much more smarter and much more thorough than I am. She literally reads everything. People won't understand the depth of knowledge and work that she put into the job and how she worked tirelessly to move the needle forward until she's gone, and you all don't have individuals with our similar temperaments. Like, you got to be super Negro, if you will, to be in this position.
Hey,
that ain't for everybody.
Do you remember years ago I told you you wasn't going to get your flowers till after you left? When you came and did your release of your book, you remember that?
Yeah,
I saw how impactful you were, you know what I'm saying? And I could see it because I was studying the history of the people who had laid foundations that helped my life that I never came in contact with. And you were so unapologetically West Bellamy that turned into Dr. West Bellamy, that turned into anything that you decided to put your hands on, you know what I'm saying? I knew there was no way you could get your flowers right now.
And I mean, it's cool. Like, because you can't do this work for flowers. You do this, me personally, you do this work to please God, and that was my assignment. So you carry out your assignment. All right. But it's interesting, like literally, there is not a day that doesn't go by in which people don't say, thank you, we appreciate you, we didn't understand it. I wish that I would have had more of it when I was on. However, I did get a lot of it. So, that's what's up. We don't always, again, understand or appreciate things until they're gone. And I think that we all have a duty and obligation to wrap our arms around Brother Wade. Can I say one more thing really quickly? If I can shift, there is an infinite amount of attention that is put on Charlottesville City Council, understandably so. There has not been a black person elected to the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors since Mr. Charles Martin, when he finished in 2003. It is now going on 2022. The amount of attention that we put on the city should be equal when it comes to the county, when it comes to their budget practices, when it comes to their policies, when it comes to just simply how they dictate and try and move things and maneuver in a wide variety of different ways. There's a reason why Siri Russell isn't there anymore. There's a reason why when we talk about the Minority Business Commission that I wrote in the policy for in Charlottesville, why don't they have one in the city? Why isn't there
Has there been a black person has there been a black person to run for the Board of Supervisors since 2003?
Yeah, we just had our brother 2 years ago.
Okay.
He lost to a person from California who had only been here for Gerard.
Oh yeah, Gerard. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He
that's
lost to a
right,
woman
that's
from
right.
California who had only been here a few months,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. Like, yo, we put so much emphasis on the city while the county is being able to skate by and do essentially what they want. We need the energy to be matched. And until we
And
decide to
consistent.
place our emphasis in both places, then we're going to see this kind of tread on the tire just continue to spin. But I'm hoping that we continue to wake up, which I know we are. So let's get to it.
That's right.
That's right, man. Thank you for that, man. Hey,
put.
like as we let you go, man, definitely want to shout you out as well, because there's so many things and initiatives that are in place today that that folks, I hear your name and I hear Nakaya's name brought up, and it definitely does my heart glad, to hear that, because like you said, like you did lay foundation, like you set an agenda forth, whether people recognize it or not. So I wanted to make sure that I say that on the airwaves, because a lot of things that community is benefiting from is things like that you put your neck on the line, to implement.
Right.
Man. So and in saying that, like as we let you go, man, like going forward with with the city right now, like what have you really learned since you've been out, right, and kind of seeing it from the outside in, inside out, now back to outside in, on the next stages, like how we can like rectify things, so that it's better outward facing, to the community and to the public.
I would say, one, we do work together. I would say, secondly, Charlottesville is like a unicorn. We get things done that literally I literally travel the state. Literally across the state, people would die to have the things and the initiatives that we have pushed in the city. So, sometimes it's easy for us to say, oh, this isn't happening, that isn't happening. But when you look at the policies that we have, the vocal collective community that we have, the budget allocations that we have, the resources that we have, we are light years ahead of a lot of different places. So being appreciative of where we are, that's the second thing. And then lastly, we have to develop a statewide agenda, because we have so many of the same issues across the state. And there are so many of us who are so smart across the state working in silos. There are a few of us who can connect us, but we have to be willing to put our energy into doing this collectively for all of our people. So that's kind of where my focus is right now. And I hope that everybody's willing to join us. It's not me, it's not Charles, it's not, Governor Northam or Tracy DeShazer or whatever. It's all of us, because when we win and when we fight together, we win and we collectively have an impact that will be long-standing on our community. And I'm sorry, I would say this last thing. We touched on it earlier. This is really a marathon. 5 years ago, just 5 years ago, people never would have thought we're doing what we're doing in Charlottesville. People never would have thought the statues would come down. They never would have thought like we would have these policies. They never thought it would be a hip hop station, on the air. So like we have to be bold enough to expand our minds to do the things that we may not be able to see right now. Let's be bold enough to speak those things into fruition, and then patient enough to see them come to fruition. That's the biggest thing. Can we be patient enough to let our dreams play out and then they actually become reality? So let's do it.
Hey, Charles, Wes got a little preaching on there. And one more thing before we close. And one more thing, Jesus, before we go out of here.
I mean, he's a country boy.
I think that was my calling, but I ran from it. So
Hey, join the party.
Can't run forever.
yeah,
Join the party.
All right, hey, brother, man, you stay healthy.
Yeah.
Until we see you again, we appreciate you.
And keep pushing.
You know, man, thank you all so much for what y'all do. Y'all literally educate our community every Sunday. I want to make sure y'all get your flowers. People listen to y'all. They respect y'all. They love y'all. Your voice is extremely needed and necessary. I know when I'm in town on Sundays, I look forward to listening, and then I'm usually texting Razor and Charles like, nah, that ain't true. That ain't what happened. But it's insightful. It's insightful conversation, and it's very educational, and it's needed and necessary. So thank y'all for y'all sacrifice and opinions. Much love.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Back at you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Enjoy your
Y'all be
Sunday.
safe. We'll do.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.